We've gone through many things through this program so far, and most have been related to our physical health. You know, we have sprinkled some things about spirituality, but the majority of things we have focused on the physical. But we saw not too many nights ago that that the issue that caused all these physical problems, it's mostly related to connection problems. And sometimes these things we don't deal with them because we don't know how to. And I want to show you a story of how in the Bible Jesus dealt with this problem. And we bring these things and we don't want to address them, right? We bring them with us, but we don't want to address them because we are, you know, ashamed or afraid, or you know, we really don't know how to. So I wanted you to read a story, but before we read that story, I want to invite you to the Bible, to the book of John, chapter 8. John chapter 8. And this will be the premise of where we're going to start and read. John chapter 8, and we're going to go to verse 44. And this is Jesus speaking. And he's talking to these leaders, some Jewish leaders. And here's the word he uses for them. He says, verse 44, says, "You people are from the father, the devil, and you want to do what your father desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, and does not uphold the truth, because there is no truth in him. Whenever he lies, he speaks according to his own nature, because he is a liar and the father of lies." Wow, what a harsh words are those. But it says that the devil is what? The father of what? Of lies. He's the father of lies. Now, when it says the father, what does he mean? What does the father word represent? He is the creator. He is the source, right? The father is the source, right? Everybody here has a father, has a source. And it says, hey, you people, you lie about things. So I'm telling you that you are children of your father, the devil, because he what? He lies from the beginning. He is the source of lies. Now, what he does, he's very specific how he does this, right? I mean, I don't see the devil physically because he lives in a spiritual realm that I can't see him, but I see the actions of it. And I have also the thoughts in my mind, the voices in my mind that speak and say, well, this is not right, right? There's something that is not right, but they speak. And what he does is this. You go through life, and through your life, there's points in your life that you're most vulnerable. Okay? You may be depending on someone, maybe depending on your father, for example, to protect you, and he leaves, and he's not there to protect you, right? Or maybe at school, you were expecting something, and you were vulnerable, you were by yourself, and something happened. Or maybe inside your family niche, where things should be close and happy, things happen. Something gets missed. And you have a problem. And you face a circumstance that it's very heavy on you. And you're a child, So you're vulnerable at that time. And at that point, when there's failure or abuse or abandonment or words spoken in the wrong way or expectations that are not the right expectations, when you're vulnerable there, the father of lies comes and he starts putting things in your mind. Yeah, this happens because of you. You deserve this because of this. And he just speaks lies. And since you're vulnerable, you just believe them. And you carry them all your life. And once you believe these lies, he has you in his hands. Because he always resorts to bringing these lies into your mind and not allowing you to kind of change your ways. Every time you want to climb up, he brings you down with these lies. And actually, most of our lives sometimes are a result of trying to maneuver because we have believed in those lies. Let me show you a story in John chapter 4. John 4, verse 4. John 4, verse 4. And here's the story. This is Jesus involved in the story, and it's a story that maybe you have heard before. But it says, but he had to pass through Samaria. This is Jesus and his disciples. He had to pass through Samaria. Now he came to a Samaritan town called Sychar, near the plot of land that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there. So Jesus, since he was tired from the journey, sat down beside the well, and it was about noon. So he's passing through this town, Samaria. He's tired. There's a well, probably a popular place where people would go to pick water, right, to get water. And he sits there. And his disciples went to go get town. It says verse 7. A Samaritan woman, so a woman from that town, came to draw water. It's a well, obviously. Jesus said to her, "Give me some water to drink." Now, so if somebody asks you water, that is something that you never say no to. Especially in the other side of the world, where this story it's developing. It's really bad to say no to water. I'm going to ask Fraser, if they ask you water in Ethiopia, can you say no to it? Impossible, right? It's impossible. And I bet most of, Eastern culture, I don't know if you grew in India or not, but I don't know if it's possible to say no to water.
Usually when you go to anyone's house or something, they will offer you water.
They will offer you immediately to drink. Yes. So if you go to the house of someone in India, they offer you water to begin with. So it's something you don't, yes?
To be honest, they will offer you a milk as well.
And a meal too, yes. So they offer you water and meal. So people are very, generous to help others. And so when he asked for water, obviously she was going to give him the water, right? That was the... Verse 8 says, for his disciples had gone off into the town to buy supplies. It was noon, it was lunchtime, they were going to go buy food in town. He was tired, he stayed back. So the Samaritan woman, verse 9, said to him, how can you, a Jew, ask me, a Samaritan woman, for water to drink? For Jews use nothing in common with Samaritan. Now, I found this interesting, her response, because you should not deny, water to anyone, no matter what stranger it is. But she goes, it's unbelievable that you're asking me for water when you're a Jew and I am a Samaritan, and we don't share things. We don't like each other. Right? He was asking because he was thirsty, I guess. So verse 10. Jesus answered her, "If you had known the gift of God, and who is it who said to you, 'Give me some water to drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." So he's saying, hey, you just don't know who I am, because if you knew who I am, you would ask me for living water. Right off the bat, he just changes the tone of the conversation. Look, in 11 says, "Sir," the woman said to him, "you have no bucket, and the well is deep. Where there do you get this living water?" Now, see, it's a simple conversation, "Give me water," and it's still not water being available. It says, how do you have living water? What are you talking about? Verse 12, "Surely you're not a greater than our ancestor Jacob, are you? For he gave us this well and drank from it himself, along with his sons and his livestock." Verse 13, Jesus replied, "Everyone who drinks from this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks from some of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. But the water that I will give him will become in him a fountain of water springing up to eternal life." Amazing. It says, the water that I give you will become a living water, and it will spring. And what is it going to give? Eternal life from inside that person. Look at the response of this lady. The water, there's still no real water coming out, no water coming out from the well. The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I will not be thirsty or have to come here to draw water." You see, there was an issue here. This woman was coming in to get water at what time of the day? At noon. At noon. And it doesn't show that there was anybody there except Jesus and her. Right? That's how the story is portrayed. Now, typically women will come out to draw water in the morning, early in the morning. And the reason they came out early in the morning is because everybody came at that time. And at least all the women came out, and it was a good social activity where you say, "Oh, so how are your kids? And how's your husband? Where are you going on vacation? What is this happening?" Basically, it's kind of a social media time. And it was good time to gather along and talk about your personal life and what's going on. We men talk about things and work and things. Women talk about people and relationships and things like that, right? That's typically what happens. I'm not sure if it's generic, but it's kind of how it goes. So I bet everybody wanted to be there at that time, see who's what are they doing, what are they wearing, what's going on, in the morning, because they need water for the rest of the day to do their activities. It's obvious. But this woman comes in at what time? At noon. She didn't want it to be seen or criticized or judged by no one. You know why? Because she felt judged. You see, she felt judged by her actions and her failures. Have you ever had failures and people look at you and you think that they're looking at your failures? I don't know if it happened to me with pasta one time. We were eating in a potluck, and I had a class to give or some lecture to give after the pasta, and I saw the stain here. So I needed to talk, and I'm not concentrated on the lecture. I'm concentrated on the spot that I think everybody's looking at. A simple thing, but and you turn around and you cover it, and you try to to maneuver around that spot. And here I am like this, talking. And it's a little spot, right? And you're thinking people are looking at you and judging you for that spot. So this woman has had failure in her life. The father of lights have always put seeds in her ears saying, yeah, you're never going to make it. You just, this is who you are. Nobody likes you. Look at you. So she goes at noon and she tries to not make sure that nobody's there at that time, because nobody is there in the hot, trying to get water. You get it in the morning or in the evening. So when Jesus says, I have living water, what do you think she says? Oh, give me that water. If I'm never going to get thirsty with your water, I want that water too. I don't want to come here and be exposed every time I come. It's like somebody saying me in that situation, I have a perfect shirt that would fit you, and you could trade for the time you're speaking. That would have been ideal for me. I would say, yes, I want that. Verse. Look at this. This is verse 16. It says, he said to her, go call your husband and come back here. Boom. Boom. She's trying to hide herself from judgment, and now Jesus comes and puts the spot right where it hurts. Right where she wants to hide the things. Do you see what he's doing? Why do you want to go there? Look at her response, verse 17. The woman replied, I have no husband. Jesus said to her, right you are when you said, I have no husband. Verse 18, for you have had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with now is not your husband. This you have said truthfully. Wow. I don't know about you, but a woman with 5 husbands, either it's a celebrity or the other side. And I think she's probably on the other side in the mentality of everyone. So this woman had 5 husbands, and the one that she is, the 6th man, is not even her husband anymore. In that culture, that's like, you're nothing. You're the worst of the worst. And this woman, poor woman, maybe had her father abandon her, not having that father figure or not caring for her, and not being the responsible father that he should have been. She's looking for love, finds a man that just wants to give her love, but really not give her love, to get something out of her, and then leaves her behind. And then what does she do? She falls in the hands of another supposedly responsible man, and goes on and on and on. And every time she falls down, the devil, the father of light, tells her, you see who you are? Nobody's going to love you. You're not lovable. You're not lovable. This is who you are. You're just, piece of trash. So as soon as she sees another man that says beautiful words to her, she says, oh, he loves me. Boom, the same mistake over and over. Now, that's her story, but what does people see? People judge her. Look at her, She's a husband stealer. The women hate her because she's going to steal their husband. Her husbands, yeah. Nobody wants her around. The ladies don't like her. And poor lady, This is who she is. This is what life has taken her. And just everybody judge her. And people say, and then Jesus goes and says, yeah, bring me your husband. Let me open that wound that you're so eager to hide from everyone. Why would he do that? Why would he go there? Could have been nice with her. Why did he go there? Yeah, wants to reach the root. I'm going to read you from the book of Luke, chapter 4. Luke 4, verse 18. This is Jesus starting his ministry. Right? He started his ministry and he sets up. He opens up the Word, the Bible, and he opens it into a book of Isaiah, chapter 42. And he says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives," and I would say the captives of the lies of the devil, and regaining the sight to the blind, to set free those who are oppressed, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. So that was his mission. His mission was to what? To release those that were oppressed. So he had to go to where it hurt so that he could show the answer to her oppression. Now, verse 19. Let's go back to John 4:19. John 4:19. It says, "The woman said to him, 'Sir, I see that you're a prophet. You have told me what happened.'" And then, she goes from verse 20 to 24. They go on a religious conversation, which is very interesting. But they go about worship and how true worship is done and things like that. But I'm going to go down to verse 25. Okay, verse 25. And it says, "The woman said to him, 'I know the Messiah is coming, the one called the Christ. Whenever he comes, he will tell us everything.'" Jesus now declares to her, it says, Jesus said to her, "I, the one speaking to you, I am he." So he says, "I am the Messiah." He declares to him the reality. Hey, I am here to release you from the lies. Yes. Yes. That's right. He only revealed himself to her like that. To anyone else, he didn't reveal himself like that. But to her he revealed himself. He says, "I am he that's going to take you away from your oppression, from the lies of the devil that you have carried for so long." Now, let's continue. Verse 27 says, "Now at that very moment his disciples came back. They were shocked because he was speaking with a woman. However, no one said, 'What do you want?' or 'Why are you speaking with her?' They even themselves, they look at her and say, 'Whoa, what are you speaking with her?'" Even the people that were close to Christ. Look, "Then the woman left her water jar and went into the town and said to the people," 29, "Come see a man who told me everything I did. Surely he can be the Messiah, can he?" You look at this. At that moment she was freed. She was freed. Would somebody that has carrying all these lies all their lives would go out into town and said, "Hey, look, I found a man that exposed me," and had told everything that I have made. No, not at all. You see, the person that feels judged will always try to hide whatever infirmity, whatever failure they have. They don't want anybody to know their failure. You don't want anybody to know your weaknesses. Who wants to declare their weaknesses? Who? No one. You know what? What that means to me is that this woman was freed from the burden of her failures. And that's what Jesus is offering you, to take you wherever you are and actually take your failures and whatever weaknesses and whatever things that you want to hide, take it in the open to make something out of it. Look at this. It says, come and see. Verse 30, so they left town and began coming to him. You know, her deficiencies became her testimony. Her failures became her testimony. The lies that the devil had put in her ears became her power and testimony. And let's go to the last verse I'm going to read. Down to verse 39. Look how powerful this verse is. Verse 39 says, now many Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the report of the woman who testified, he told me everything I ever did. Wow. Isn't that, I just read this story over and over and I always like, wow, that's amazing. You see, you are free to leave your failures, your weaknesses, the things that you're ashamed of, to him, and he can transform that into a powerful testimony in your life so that others can see the transformation in your life. And you know what's going to happen? Others are going to have the experience of drinking from that living water that is springing from you. Wow. Boom. I love this. It's just amazing. See, you can come to him and not have to hide your shamefulness and your failures and your just come to him and he'll restore that and make it something powerful. He's waiting for you to do that. So, you might not think that these things are hidden in your heart somewhere in your mind and actually carving a path that you should not be taking. You're maneuvering to life because of these things. And you might think that they don't have an importance, but they do. You have to get to a point where you can release yourself from these things. If not, you'll always be through life maneuvering, hiding, going to the well at noon. See, this lady, I don't think she ever went back at noon to the well. She went when everybody was there now. And she actually, expressed what was in her life. So, I desire that for you because I know for a fact that you might think that these things don't impact you, but they do. And I want you to be just, you're detoxing physically. I want you to detox from these things too. And actually, get the power that is to live freely from these things.